Lay. Sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Kane is in the building, nigga.
Alright, already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Alright, already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on.
Hi and welcome to my big red couch. Today I have Favala with me. We are going to be talking about online dating.
Of course.
You know, I have started dating online. So, and I put a post out there on Facebook asking about people's experiences with the online dating scene and had like a whole heap of different responses. And I was like, oh, this is really cool, because for me, coming from Barbados, the West Indian background, for someone to hear that I'm actually online dating is like,
No.
Are you, are you desperate? Those are some of the taboos that you hear. Are you crazy? Don't you know what goes on online? This can happen to you, that can happen to you. So I'm kind of like really fascinated by it. And I actually only signed up on a lark. I saw, and I'm on Facebook a lot, and I saw in the column, meet handsome black men. I love handsome black men. So click and signed up, and I've been having quite an adventure. But I really wanted to talk, because I know there are kind of like negative connotations when it comes to online dating. I know there's a lot of positive, but I want to explore the negative, just a little bit of the negative first, and then we're going to move on to all the positives that there are for online dating. So what do you think are some of why do people have this thing about dating online?
Girl, I have no idea, but you know what? I have to say that my experience is the same way. I was like, no, I am totally not doing this. I actually did it, like I was telling you before, it was a bet. So I was like, I hope I don't lose this bet, because I have to go online and meet people. And so I went on, and one of the first negative things, it's like, are these people really who they are? Like, is this really the person? Because, they have the pictures and they have this profile, and then you're just like, yeah, you really did this? Are you really doing that? Are you really 5'10", 5'9", So the negatives is kind of like the unknown, and, you walk into a place, you can actually see someone, but online, it's kind of, you can be whoever you want to be. So that's like the #1 negative, because you're just like, these people are lying, like automatically.
Yeah, and sometimes, but the thing about that, sometimes they lie so well.
Yeah, girl. They do.
And it's 2013. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, and Instagram is now a new player in this whole social media arena. And we shop online, we look at apartments online, we buy our pets online, we do everything online. So why is there this thing about shopping for our significant other online?
I think it's like a taboo, it's orthodox. It's just like, that's a no. You're supposed to walk in a supermarket or meet them at church, it's just not what we're used to. I guess I'm from the islands as well. I'm from Dominican Republic, and Spanish people, come on, they already know who you're getting married to.
Yes.
Mamita, you're getting married to him. You're like, I don't know him. I don't care for him. So you have that. If you're growing up with that, so your mind, it's just like a cultural thing.
It is.
And I think, for American people, it might be a little bit more open to it, because, just family and culture alone. But then for the islands, we just don't do that. That's like, we don't even have a computer. Can you?
I know, and the thing with this what's so amazing is that there are 20 million people online dating on over 1,500 different dating sites, and the industry makes a great sin. They're making like $4 billion annually worldwide. So people are doing it. The only thing is they're not talking about it. It's on the hush, you see people in there, oh, I met my, where did you meet so-and-so? Match.com.
Yeah. Or they're like, well, I met him at a bar. At a bar? What bar? Well, I spoke to him before. Wow. And then you're like, let me break it down, because and this is another thing what you said, it's like a negative thing, you don't know what other people might say. Society, we're all about what people think and what they're going to say, and, oh, they're negative, oh, girl, that's not going to work. it's gonna be crazy. He's not gonna, you know, or she's not gonna, and you don't want to. You want to be accepted. So that's another reason why you want to keep it on the hush. But
And
you're right.
even in researching it, when I plugged in online dating, the negative, scam, you know, everything. I mean, you look all the way down the page and all you can see is online dating scams. Everything was so negative in the whole thing. And so then that really makes you wonder, is this really a good idea to, you know, to go online to date someone?
It's true. You know, I think that sometimes people have an experience, like let's say they go somewhere and they eat something and they're like, oh, it's just bad. That's it, it's bad. I didn't eat it, I didn't like it, it's bad. And I think that's with online dating, they have a bad first experience and then they give up. You know, they're just like, oh, I did 1 month, I didn't find anyone, it's crap, you know? And it's like, no, girl. First of all, you have to look at your profile, what you're looking for, and what are you even putting time into it, and how are you going about it, you know? If you're just putting a profile and thinking, oh, I'm just gonna meet my man or my woman or whatever, then no, go sit down.
I think it also has to do with the expectations that you
Exactly.
have. For me, I had no expectations.
So
I had no expectations, and it was, I signed up on a Sunday night, turned the computer off, went out, came back on the Monday morning, 1,500 messages.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, this thing is popular.
You're like, oh, I got it, boo, I got it.
You know, it is popular because, like I said, all these numbers of people who are actually doing it, but it's like on the down low.
It's super down low. And again, if you work from home or if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, whatever the case, it's easier for you to want to gravitate to online because that's your life, like you said. You know, it's something that you're just always online. Again, there are 1,500 responses, and as you look, you're like, no, oh, definitely not, you know? And again, now that's the hardest part, how to weed them out.
And that's the thing, is there too much choice? Because I mean, there you are, and you're looking at a pool of potentially 600 different men.
Yeah.
How do you? It's confusing to say the least. Is there some sort of process? Is there some sort of?
You know what? I'm not like an expert on like how it is because I'm very lazy. Let me tell you, girl. When I matched the comment, I was like, these people are crazy. Ain't nobody got time for this. All these questions. I was like, no, I don't like that. Yes, I like food. Why you want to know how much money I make? I got a job. You know, like it was just a lot of questions. But then after a while, you know, I had to be selective. I had to be like, okay, what do I want and who am I? And there's really not a weeding process. There's just, I have to understand the profiles and who's bullshit and who's not. Bottom line.
But how do you get to that point?
Well, you got to read the profiles in your conversations. Don't you start the conversation with hello, how you would when you meet someone anywhere. But if the conversation starts getting into like, you know, I want to go, you know, I want to see you and this and where were you and you look so fine, and you're like, no, that's not the conversation I want to have. If you're talking sexual, if you're talking, you know, things that really have nothing to do, if you're boasting so much about yourself, it's like, well, I haven't even asked you that question. Why are you telling me all that, you know?
So what about those profiles without a picture?
I don't touch them. I don't. I mean, no, seriously. You walk into, I mean, it's like blind. You're going in blind. You know, love, they say, and I told you before, love will find you. No matter what, love will find you. But there are people that they want to be something else. You know, they're online and they want to be someone else. They want to be that Brad Pitt or that Jennifer Lopez or whatever. So guess what? Their profile is going to be like that.
I so have a funny story for you.
Okay, sorry. I have to be here.
I was talking to this guy, he said to me, he was talking to this chick online, and she said to him, you know, she said she had all these beautiful photos of herself, gorgeous, like movie model, drop dead, gorgeous photos. And after like 2 months of chit-chatting back and forth, they decided that he was gonna let her come to Kansas, because she lived like somewhere in Jersey or somewhere. And he said he pulled up to the airport, he's sitting in the airport for an hour and a half and cannot see this person. And he kept texting her, you know, where are you? I know your flight landed, that type of thing. And so she finally said, I'm here. And he was like, where? You're not here, I don't see you. And she said, I was thinking of a way to talk, you know, but he said when he saw her, it had nothing to do with the photos. She was a totally different person.
A hot mess.
And then she got upset when he didn't want to hang out with her. And I said, so what did you do? What did you do? He said, I just gave her playing field to get back where she was going because she was definitely, he said, I felt cheated.
Yeah.
And I was very disappointed. So, I mean, what would drive a person to put up a whole fake profile, fake photos, and then actually go meet someone?
You know, that's absurd. And now with technology, I don't know if you used it, but I've done Skype dates. You can't cheat on a Skype date. Boom, boom, beep, boop, boop, boop. Damn, okay, you really are what you say you are, as far as, you know, the facial whatever. Or also, body language is a lot too. When you're speaking to someone, you don't have to go, I don't want to go out with you, I don't want to go out with you yet. Let's go have a Skype date. Girl, put them on Skype. G-chat, all that stuff, so that you can actually have video and, hey, how are you, whatever. And you can see a lot through the reaction in someone's face and how they respond to something, you know, if they're like, I gotta go, or, you know, or I can't really talk right now. Oh, you have a family still. Well, you're not supposed to be out in the back.
And that's about legally separated.
No. Legally separated. No. You're divorced or you're not with them or that's it. Legally separated, no. I don't believe in that.
I mean, the whole dating thing is kind of, you know, it's basically the end result. I think when you're dating is you're looking for a relationship. So the whole process, how do you kind of like initiate that first meeting after the talks?
Well, you know, you have that once you kind of see what things you have in, you know, common and stuff, and I think the Skype would be something before the actual meet exactly. And I always like going somewhere where you have to do something, like an activity, to kind of see them in a crowd and kind of, so you're not like, if it's awkward, you can be like, okay, there's other people, there's things we're doing something, so I can kind of like, I don't want to call them back again or whatever, or call her or whatever. So I would say to do something like an activity, not just like, oh, let's just have dinner. That's just me, because you can see that person in another light, not just like one-on-one, where you're just like, okay, this is awkward, I'm really having a conversation. But you really know if you're hitting it off just by, after Skype, seriously, like after Skype, you'll know if you're hitting it off. You should try, have you tried it?
No, I haven't tried it!
Girl, you gotta try it, it's like, no! And then
I do have Skype and it's basic for business, but I actually have not. I haven't
you gotta do it.
Wanted to Skype.
Oh, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. Because that way, it's no more of that. Someone, you know that Match can actually write your profile. Yes, you can. They can write your profile for you. Oh, you didn't know? Oh, girl, it's a big business. What did you say in the beginning of this interview? It's a huge business, and now people are so scared, they're timid, they don't know how to talk about themselves. They will pay. Match will seriously pay for you to do it.
So isn't that kind of deceptive anyway?
Very, because they go based on, you know, like, okay, well, it's a questionnaire. So that way, I'm telling you that you can't really go on a profile. You have to go based on, let's see, let's talk. And sometimes over the phone, it's like,
it's difficult.
It's difficult.
There's not.
They can put that whole facade on.
I know, and you don't have that body language. You can't see them and look into their face and see whether they're a big fat liar. You know.
Exactly.
So I mean, even meeting them sometimes face to face, you never know. I always say you don't truly know someone until you truly know someone, because you can meet someone in a traditional way, in a bar,
exactly.
at church.
Praise the Lord. And guess what? He is not the one that.
Yeah, and he can be an axe murderer. You next murderer. But seriously, like I was reading that on Match.com, there's this lady and she's suing Match.com for $10 million because someone that she met on there actually brutally attacked her and brutally stabbed her multiple times. But she met him on Match.com, and so she's now trying to hold Match.com liable for for her experiences. But I think that can happen in any situation. I would have known. I mean, my husband that I was married to for 20 years, he could have done that to me if he wanted to. So it has not. I don't think it has anything to do with the actual online dating thing. It has to do with the person's personality and who the person is, and you. Literally, like, and I hate to repeat it, but I'm gonna repeat it. You don't know someone until you know someone.
It's true. You're still, actually, when you're in a relationship, it's like you still get to know them. You'll never know when someone's complete. There's married couples like 50 years, and they're still getting to know someone. It's like it's not a profile and say, okay, 1+1 and that's it. Okay, I got that answer. No, because people change, people evolve, times change, and they mature, and it's different. And that's why I was telling you, like, and I don't know if with the website you're on, but they have like this mingler thing, girl, you gotta check it out. This is what they do, where all of you go, you know, you'll go to this mingles event, and it's your date, and it's a mingles event with other couples from the event. And again, it's that activity thing, so it's not odd where it's just like you and him or whatever. Girl,
Well, I think I gotta go on Match.com.
well, I fell with the love of my life on Match, but it was not easy because I went on some crazy dates. Oh, I even walked out on one. Because, you know, I know what I want and I'm very determined, and, you know, people look at you, they might be intimidated, they might be like, oh, I don't want to deal with it. And you don't want that. You don't want someone weak or whatever. But I did the Skype thing, and after I did the Skype thing that I started weeding out, like, okay, I don't want that. The texting thing, I don't want that. But before the Skyping, I didn't do it.
But the texting thing, you damn thumbs, you're going.
I know, like, I
And
know.
I think that that's a red flag too, because when someone only wants
To text, it's like, pick up the phone and call me. If you can't call me, I don't need to talk to you. And that's why I'm telling you, Skype, girl. Because you can have a Skype date and say, we're gonna have a couple Skype dates, see how the chemistry.
What do you mean a couple Skype date?
Well, you're not just gonna have one. It's evaluate.
Oh.
You have to have like 2, 3, and see where the conversations go. And if you get off there and you're like, wow, I just had a great conversation with this, you know, this person, and I want to like really meet him now. You know, if you feel like that at the end of those Skype dates, then you know when you go to that date, it's not gonna be awkward. You're gonna feel like you've known them, and you feel like, forget that profile. He's gonna be able to elaborate rather than just a phone call, rather than here, he's gonna talk about, hey, you know, this is what I do my job, or this is what I would like to do, or this is what I did this weekend, you know? You have an iPhone, you can even do Skype on the iPhone with the two-way. Hey, how you doing? You see me? You're serious, but it's serious.
You know, and I'm really happy that you met the love of your life.
I did.
You know, and I actually, quite a few people have approached me after I put that question on Facebook, and they actually want to come and talk about their experiences with online dating, because we kind of like want to shy away from all the negative. I mean, there are negative.
There are. You have to be careful.
You have to be careful.
Yeah.
You know, there are things that red flags. So, but I just think it's really cool, because, I mean, where else? I mean, I can sit on my computer in the safety of my little sanctuary in there, and I can just go through and I can choose. I can selectively choose who I want to communicate with. And if I no longer want to communicate with you, I block you.
That's it.
You know, and it's so different. Than being, you know, going out and hanging out and trying to meet someone in person, because especially in my town is small. Where am I going to run away from after I meet you? You know,
Exactly.
You're going to see me around town. You're going to see me out shopping.
Yes.
I love to shop. you're going to see me, and so I just love the yeah, I think so, but and like I said, you have to manage your expectations, because I don't think that I'm going to meet the love of my life on.
Really?
Yeah, because that's not what I'm looking for. Like I said, I signed it as a lark.
Yeah.
As a lark. And so now my thing for doing it now is like more of a social experiment.
Yeah, and to actually meet people and likes and just go on dates, whatever. But I'm telling you, Sharon, love will find you. You cannot find it. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. You haven't tried the Skype thing. You gotta do the Skype thing. Get it on your calendar. We're gonna have a Skype date. Okay?
But then you have to find someone to have a Skype date with.
Yes. That's where the conversations where you feel like don't give your telephone number right away. You know, like go only through that Match or that whatever website for a good while, and before you can't give all the cookies away. To the cell phone number is a cookie. It is. Unless it's a phone number.
And that's another thing, because if you give too much information, they can actually track you
Oh,
down.
yeah.
And speaking of that,
Oh my God.
the same guy, I mean, he's one unlucky dude, I'm telling you. This chick, you know, they're chatting back and forth.
Is another girl?
This is the same guy, different girl.
Okay.
And it's so funny. He has 3 daughters, and so I think it was one of their birthdays, and she said, you know, you probably, you know, in the conversation, and she was like, so what's your address? I want to send her a card. Chick turned up at his house with her daughter from a whole different state.
Oh my God! Can you say psycho?
So you have to be so careful.
How was he though? Did he take it did they have that type of relationship where the surprise would have been okay or no?
No, the surprise wasn't okay, it seemed. Because he said right after that, he kind of like got off his site right away because that was just a little bit too crazy. Yeah. So you do have your crazies out there, but then again, you do have wonderful people who are like you said, entrepreneurs, they're professionals, and they just don't have the time.
They don't have the time.
Yeah, they just don't have the time to go out there and try to meet people in a traditional way, and so that's the way that they're using. But and coming back to this thing about the whole hush hush thing, I just don't understand it since it's so widely used. 20 million people, for goodness sake, how are they keeping this a secret? Because they have to, it's a site, they don't want people to judge them. It's like, I replied to your post because I was like, I don't care, whatever. Because I was skeptical at first, and I'm like, I'm gonna tell everybody, people ask me, but I wouldn't say it to everyone. Like in my family, if they ask me, because they always ask like, are you dating and all this, and I wouldn't say it because again, it's a cultural thing where I'll be like, oh my God, I'm gonna hear this lecture if I tell them about. They're gonna be like, oh my God, you're gonna meet this person, they're gonna kill you, and then that's the first thing. That's the first thing that it's a negative, and I hate to focus on the negative because I'm a positive person.
It's true. You have to be positive, but again, that's why I said the whole communication is you on that website. Don't give away your phone number, your address, or anything. No text. They have the little wink thing. They have all these other things that you can do. And if you want to meet him, you can meet him at the mingle places that the actual websites do have. And again, and you can mingle, and you might see, well, you ain't work out with me, Billy, but Bobby over there. How you doing, Bobby? Come sit on my big red couch. I'm gonna interview you. No, but that is a good way. I mean, the same way that people don't like to do, online dating, that's just like the speed dating. People are so like, oh, you only have 5 minutes. How can you know this person in 5 minutes? But it's the same. What's the connection? You have a connection.
And that's so important.
Exactly. And some people don't have a connection where it's like physical, and some will click on the profiles with no picture, and then I don't really know about that. Because I don't know. Because with or without the picture, it could be a fake.
It could be a fake. And story of Kansas. And it's like really amazing. Because I did put up a few photos on there, and I wrote this really nice profile and stuff. And this one guy, he just sent me this. What's your name? Because I didn't read your profile. I just was so mesmerized by your photos. I didn't read your profile. I was like, dude,
you see,
my name is the first thing that I said.
Yeah. But that's a red flag.
That is a red flag
because
you're all into the physical
and the attraction, and
yes.
It's like I just want some me. That's it. Like that's it. I just want that booty. That's exactly what it is. So if the guy is only the first thing they're saying, or the person is saying, talking about your attributes and all this stuff in a way that you're not even talking about it, you don't even mention it, you don't need to go there. If they say, oh, I read on your profile that you went here, they start off with small talk, because that's what small talk, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, even when you first meet someone, and traditionally, that's you start off with small talk.
Exactly.
You don't just, you just don't jump right into the conversation. For example, I've heard people getting message, texts of body parts.
See,
and I'm like,
and then if you entertain it, and then you're gonna think that.
Yeah. But for me, if you just know a person and they send you a picture of their body part, that's like going out to dinner, you're sitting down across from them, you're taking off your shirt at the dinner table.
It's true. It's true. So that's where your morals and your values come through, where it's just because it's online doesn't mean you have to do what the online does, where it's like, oh, I gotta show this because they're gonna like me more. No, they're supposed to captivate each other based on who you say you are, not just what you write. Yeah, the writing someone can get, but you don't know.
Like you said, people on Match.com do it for their clients, so.
They do.
Yeah.
So, yes, girl. You're gonna try it.
Leave my kid alone. Oh my gosh. And one of the things that we were talking that I talked about, I think we just covered that about the lying. They just lie about their height, their weight, their income.
No, they say they work.
So it's. I think you really have to be very smart when you're getting into this. You have to be very smart, and I've said before, manage your expectations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Manage your expectations, because you can be very disappointed, or you can be happy like you are.
I am happy, and my friends got married on from Match. I have lots of friends that met people. It wasn't easy though. It wasn't like the first person. It's like it does take time. you know, it does take time and dedication to be like, let me go on here and really see who it is and go on a date or go on Skype or whatever the case is. But yeah, but that's in everywhere you go. I mean, you know, you never know. They always say, oh, meet the loved one of my life in the supermarket. But yeah,
How often does that happen?
Does that really happen, you know? And another thing is, you know, it's like your elevator speech, you know, you have 10 seconds to say. At this point, you have time where you can, like you said, I can be like, I don't want to really talk to you anymore because we're not on the same page and block them and never see them again. So the point is Skype, no text. Well, text, but after
yeah, but after a while, I don't think you want to go through that whole having a conversation
on text.
On
Yeah,
text.
no.
It makes absolutely no sense.
Because that means it says a lot about that person. And it's like, well, you really don't have time for me. I mean, you could be busy. You're an entrepreneur. You could be busy, but are you really going to have time for this? Or is it just going to be like, oh, I'm just a, you know?
And I think you don't really want to invest your time also because that's
too much. Exactly.
Invest too much time pursuing the wrong person.
Yeah.
Because that's time that you're never going to get back.
Yeah, that's
you know. So you, I think there's so many different. What's the word I'm looking for?
Like there's just so many different like things that are. I don't know how to have what word you were looking for, but I'm thinking of a lot of other things that you can't do, But do you like it so far? Like
yeah, I've actually been having a ball. It's I mean, it's so entertaining for me because I am being exposed to so many different people that I've never been exposed to. Not only cultures, but just people in general. Because I'm newly on the dating scene, so it's like, whoa. Do people actually say this stuff? Do people and I'm a very logical person, so I always look at things scientifically. Yeah. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, really? Does any of this make sense? But I've made a few great connections on there who potentially can be great friends. Okay. You know, I mean, one of the first people I met on there was this amazing guy, but we just realized right like 3-4 weeks into the actual. We're not gonna. This is really it will not work because my lifestyle and your lifestyle are so totally different. You know, and that's okay. And that's okay. But I think he's such an amazing person that we still talk. We still, you know, so I like friendships. I feel safe in friendships.
Now, do you have a problem with commitment?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have a problem with committing it, you can't go on a dating site automatically and think. So that's another thing too. And you know that you learn more about yourself when you're on this because you're like, I never really thought I really don't like that. I never thought if I would like that, but I don't want that. You know, when you say to yourself like, yeah, I don't mind someone who travels just as much as I do, and then you think about it, you're like, no, I actually do mind that someone who travels. And so you learn more about yourself, and commitment is a big thing.
It is because at this point in my life, I'm not looking to settle down. I was settled down for 20 years.
Have fun.
You know, I just want to have fun. So I really don't think that
a companion. No.
Oh, my dog.
Well, you know.
yes.
A companion is good.
Yeah, you know, so I'm just on there, I think, just for the experience, and it's a social experiment. It gives me something to talk about. It's very, very interesting. Yeah. It's like fodder for my interview machine, so to speak.
Oh gosh!
You know, because I actually have made really good connections on there for people that I would love to talk to. Explore. Even this first guy, he is like totally amazing. I would love to have him on my couch because he has so much to share. He is so talented. You know, the whole 9 works, and so 9 yards, and I would love to have him on my couch. Do you hear that? You know who I'm talking about. I would love to talk to you.
It's nice and comfortable.
Well, I really want to thank you so much for coming and kind of like lightening up a little bit because I think people take it way too seriously. They're really taking, and I think, and like I said, if you meet someone online, if you meet someone in the bar, wherever you meet them, you're gonna have issues regardless. People are not gonna click, they're not gonna like you regardless. So it's just going into it with what you wanted to find.
I don't know what I wanted to find. I was just wanted this bet to be over with.
Well, and so it worked out for you. You did that, and you like you said,
I didn't have expectations like you.
Right, and love found you. Yeah. And I don't know if you weren't looking for it, and I'm not. You see, I'm not looking for it either. So maybe, who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? So,
but no, thank you so much. I had so much fun, and everyone out there, try it. Don't try it.
Yeah, and join the conversation. Come on my big red couch and talk about your experiences. Talk about if you would never do it, if you've done it. I know some of you are doing it and you're doing it on the down low. You don't want us to know. But join the conversation. Come on, let's talk about it. Until next time, be incredible, be inspired, be red.